Good morning, everybody. Well, I found myself procrastinating this morning on something I really want to be doing. Really, really want to be doing. Like, oh my God, life-changing, life-affirming, on the path to greatness types of things that we want to be doing. And I find myself going, oh, maybe I just should finish the dishes first. Or, maybe I should do my makeup first for the webinar I'm doing this afternoon. It'll just take a minute. Oh, the laundry needs to be put away. So I was just speculating on this absolute strange phenomenon that we humans seem to have, where we put things off that are the most important to us. So I wondered if you guys want to jump into the conversation on this one. What are your favorite ways of procrastinating? Good morning, Stephen. Hey, Stephen, I was just looking at started to look at your episode there on working at your own pace on your author show, man. That's some good stuff you were sharing. Thank you for that. Although filming a Facebook Live at 2:30 in the morning, I was not expecting a show. Was not that kind of show anyway. Good morning, Bob. Bob Walker from Toronto. Leslie Davidson, awesome. Thanks for coming in, you guys. We are talking about what are some of your favorite ways to procrastinate. I caught myself this morning procrastinating something I really wanted to be doing. And I was reflecting on this because when this happens with my clients as well, it happens with me, it happens with my friends. So I just wanted to explore a little bit. Good morning, Dana. Good morning, Deanna. So, first things first. Some of my favorite ways to procrastinate, even when it's something I really want to be doing, are folding laundry. Folding laundry makes you really feel like you're getting something done, and there is always laundry to fold. Always laundry to fold, okay? What about you guys? James, thanks for coming in, man. James is a very athletic dude. James probably goes for a run when he's procrastinating. Is that what you do, James? I bet, right? So Steven says, I have an article to be written with a deadline. So he started to do with a YouTube video. Awesome. Yay, Steven. Hey, Heather. Heather's one of my oldest friends. We've known each other since middle school. Strange, huh? Hey, James. So how do you guys like to procrastinate? Now, a lot of my clients, I know they're onto something big, some big changes in their lives. I think there is a proportional kind of relationship between how big you're playing in your life and how clean your house gets all of a sudden, right? It's all of a sudden like, I managed to clean my desk out, or I've been putting off organizing the garage for 5 years. And then, yeah, exactly. So Deanna says she sorted all of her clothes out of her closet this morning. Yes, woman, absolutely. Excellent. James does do running. That's fabulous. Actually, he's right. James says that running helps you focus and helps you think of all the things you need to do. That's very true. Walking or running activates different parts of the brain, which is great for processing. So, oh man, I'm getting some likes here. That's very nice. Thank you. So it is an interesting phenomenon. Sometimes the closer we get to the things we really, really want, the more we kind of resist back a little bit. Good morning, Nelson. Hey, man, thanks for joining me. So we're talking a little bit today about our favorite ways to procrastinate or put things off, or the things that we do that make us kind of, make me think we're getting things done, and we are getting things done. Let's not, get rid of that. Good morning, Kim. Thanks for joining us. All right, guys, let's not be shy. So I'm going to tell you some of my favorite ways to procrastinate, which, by the way, I'm doing right now. So for a couple of months now, I've been working on something really big, a brand new website and a whole new thing for my business, helping people get their audiobooks made, right? So this is a big deal for me. This is stepping into something that I waited for 4 years to launch. And when I launched it earlier this year, it totally took over my business. It was this beautiful downstream, oh my God, my business is growing like gangbusters, woohoo! And of course, what happens? I get to the next stage of developing that. I get to the next expansion of doing that. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, I have 15 other things I need to do right now. Maybe I'll write that email sequence later, which is exactly where I'm at right now. I am this close to launching this website. And and here I find myself going, well, I was going to do a Facebook Live later today. Why don't I do it right now? Now, there's a method to my madness here because I am an extrovert, and being with you guys and talking with you guys actually is super motivating for me. And yes, I'm still getting something done by, creating some community, creating some conversation, all these other things. And at the same time, I have to acknowledge I'm putting off what I said I would do. So, so that's what kind of it. So what are you guys up to that, you find yourself having kind of a push-pull? You guys got any big projects that you're doing? Anything you're gearing up to launch, books you're writing, everything like that? Oh, Deanna, I'm so glad this is exactly what you needed today. It's what I needed today too, right? So thanks very much. So, some other things that I noticed that we tend to do. Email is a big, can be very productive and at the same time a big time waster. Now, you're welcome. You're welcome. I was procrastinating. And, when I was in college, let me actually back up to this. When I was in college, when I was in grad school, actually, one of the things that I worked at was, Jolie Black, here we go. We can speak to academics right here. I used to work for a student tutoring center, helping people out. And I actually got in trouble, as I often did working for other people. I am highly unemployable. Some of you can probably relate to that. So I would actually have these sessions with students, individual tutoring sessions with students, and I would actually teach them how to procrastinate effectively. Because resisting against it just causes more stress, and the stress actually causes your brain to shut down and you're just not as effective. So if you're like me and like most of the population, that there's a little bit of us that almost thrives on that last push, that last rush of like, I'm gonna push it past the finish line, I'm gonna get it all done. There's kind of like this endorphin, kind of feeling that we get, right? When we plan it out and it's really calm and there's none of that last like running to the finish line, it can be actually a little bit of a letdown. So sometimes that procrastination that we do, we want to do it because it actually gives us that kind of feeling, right? So I would teach them how to procrastinate effectively, which is basically making sure that if you've got a big deadline, that you've got your calendar blocked off for like a full day ahead of time. Just to acknowledge that you were probably going to wait to the last minute on that, but maybe you still don't have to give up sleep. Maybe you're just strategic in your calendar about how you put things off. Maybe it's part of actually how you strategize. I still do this to this very day, and build in twice as much time as I think I'm going to need to open up and put things into my calendar. So yeah, I see you guys too. So Nelson's working on his podcast. Jolie's working on her thesis or dissertation. Someone else said they were working on their book. I kind of missed that. Hi, Ever from Costa Rica joining us. Ever, I don't think he's ever procrastinated. I don't know that he actually does, because he is absolutely brilliant. And every time that I work with him in Costa Rica, he's a brilliant landscaper and horticulturist. He was always on time and he always worked his butt off. So maybe we should all go to Costa Rica with me and we can meet with Ever and he can show us how not to procrastinate, right? Right. Okay. So James is showing me the love today. Thank you, James. I appreciate that, my dear. That or he's fallen asleep on his buttons, so he just keeps, pressing them. One of the two. So yes, Kara, I know you got to block more. And Kara, my darling, you need to block more time for yourself, right? Kara, like myself, has young children. And, those, there's sometimes when you're trying to schedule with young children, a schedule goes out the window. Sometimes the schedule goes out the window regardless, but especially with the unpredictability of kids, you got to just kind of go with the flow, and that's why it's helpful to have a calendar and have a schedule that's almost like Legos, where we can kind of move things around. I call them life blocks. I know Candy Barone, my colleague Candy, who you've probably seen me in some other videos with, she has another schedule there. Nelson, I know your kids are grown. You might not have an excuse. We can always come up with more excuses, my darling. Yeah, we always can. But you are such a brilliant podcaster. I can't wait to hear your new show. You got to get that out there, right? So, Deanna, yeah, a new entrepreneur. Honestly, sweetie, even when you're an old entrepreneur, I've been an entrepreneur most of my life, the day never does end in your brain. It's a skill. It's actually a muscle that you've got to start working to consciously start to calm your brain and consciously start to learn how to wind down. There's a lot of requests that we need to make of ourselves as well as other people. Speaking of which, one of my role models just jumped on. My mom is here. Hi, Mom. Hi, Mimo. Christine Zabrowski is my mom, and she was one of my biggest role models, especially when she started doing and teaching yoga. She was at a point in her life, and she was a role model for me in high school when she started to take time for herself. And that's one of the biggest things that I feel like I can do for my kids is as I keep learning and evolving and keep learning how to make requests, keep learning how to take time for myself, for my own excellence and performance. We have to do that. We're always looking to get more out of ourselves. It's not a way of, we don't grind ourselves down to do better. That doesn't make any sense. You don't suck all the life out of something in order to make it better. You got to infuse it with more life. So, making sure that we get enough sleep, making sure that we actually are real with ourselves about our calendar and intentionally procrastinate. Why not? It's whatever works, right? I come from the school of whatever the hell works. It's a good school. It's a good school. We never graduate from it, but it's a good school, right? So what are you guys up to this week? Where would you like some kudos? Where would you like some attaboy, attagirl? What kind of requests can you be making, right? Nelson's infusing your life with procrastination. As long as it's conscious procrastination, then kudos to you, my dear. Absolutely. James is going to go for a run to help him organize his mind and what he's doing and clear his mind. Lizzie, what is sleeping? Sleeping is very important. Very important. You'll get a lot more done if you take the time to sleep. It won't feel like it at first. You probably will need about 3 weeks of recovery, but I'll tell you a trick. There's actually a way for you to be able to get less sleep and still have good brain function. And this is really helpful when you're in a hot production area of your life. If you're really going for something, you get a lot going on. And that is basically to set a number of hours you're going to be sleeping. And you sleep that number of hours, no more, no less, at the same hours every night. So if you can only get 4 or 5 hours of sleep, then you set that 4 or 5 hours of sleep at the same time every night. One of my favorite clients of all time, the folks who own Fairy Cakes Cupcakery in Buffalo, New York. Let me tell you, working for people who own a cupcake shop, deadly but awesome, right? They were not getting any sleep. It was actually the first thing we addressed in our coaching together. They only figured they could get about 5 hours of sleep a night. So one of them set 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. as their sleep time, and the other one set midnight to 5 a.m. as their sleep time. And they kept on that schedule every night consciously for the next couple of months. And it allowed their brain to kind of normalize. It allowed their neurotransmitters to normalize for that period of time. Ideally, if you're going to do that short of sleep, you will also do a 20 to 30 minute either meditation or power nap in the middle of the day. Again, same time every day. Your performance, your memory, your brain function will boost a lot if you're in a space where you can't necessarily get a lot of sleep, because sometimes that's just the way it is. I've had many times in my life, young children notwithstanding, where I was in the midst of creating something I was really excited about or working on a hot project, and 5 or 6 hours of sleep was all I could manage. So again, getting real about procrastination, getting real about sleep. If those are the situations, then it's time for creativity. Yeah, let's break out the creativity, which is my favorite thing to do. So I'm really glad we got to connect today, guys. It's really good to see you. Thank you for all the kind comments and all the words. Now, before we head off, is there anything that you guys want to declare that you're going to be up to this week? Hi, Erin. Thanks for joining us. What are you up to, right? Yeah. Good for you, Deanna. Hey, if you want to follow up with me afterwards, after you've written your business launch letter, and let me know it's done so that I can heap praise upon you, I would love to do that. It's one of the things that I love to do. I am an Italian grandmother in training. I like to feed people emotionally as well as physically. So yeah, good for you. Who else has got something they're gonna say, you know, but today, you know, whether I wait to the end of the day or not, I'm gonna get it done. John's fixing some broken tech. Thank goodness for people who know how to who fix broken tech. Thank you, John. Thank you for being one of those people who knows how to fix things. Oh, we need more of that in our lives. Well, I'm gonna stand for one more minute just to see if there's any further comments that you guys want to declare. Nelson, perhaps, or somebody else, or say, you know, when your podcast is coming up, how's your book going? Someone else is working on a book, all this other good stuff. And here's what I'm saying. I will have my email sequence for my new launchyouraudiobook.com website into my wonderful folks today from Greenleaf Social Media who are building my website. I will have that into them by the end of the day today, no later. Absolutely. James is going to be doing podcast interviews, improving website, meeting with a potential sponsor. That's awesome. James, that's a lot of things in one day, darling. Okay, so here's one of the tricks. If you're like me, I refer to myself as having happy puppy syndrome, right? We just want to do everything. We want to do it all at once. And we're wagging and wagging and wagging. Sometimes we wag ourselves out, okay? So you want to have 2 to 3 big priorities per day, okay? 2 to 3, no more, okay? And just really focus on those 2 to 3 things that are your big rocks for the day. Gloria Coppola, one of my favorite humans, just joined us. Gloria's been another mentor and role model to me in self-care. She's owned lots of businesses. She has been all over the place teaching people massage and about their health and their well-being, and she's just phenomenal. You know, and so this is it. This is one of these people that our lives that we surround ourselves with people who are good for us, who are lift us up. I was watching earlier today a little bit of a movie with Kevin Smith and his experience making the movie Clerks, which is one of my one of my favorite movies, right? And one of the things he talked about was, you know, when you start something new, you're going to get whacked in the face with a lot of people who are like, why? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? And we can't surround ourselves with why people. We need to surround ourselves with why not people. Much more interesting. Would it get you in more trouble? Yeah, but trouble can be good. Trouble can be fun. Trouble can be expansive and all of that. So this is one of those places where we want to surround ourselves by why not people. Like Eva, who joined us a little while ago. She's definitely a why not person in my life. Another someone I've known since high school. So, and we've had our share of getting into trouble together, right? Excellent. So I am going to let you guys go. So I'm going to go and get something done. I recommend that you guys use this energy that we've created right here on Facebook Live to use it as a boost and get things going and play and explore. And if you find yourself procrastinating, be very conscious about it, put it in your calendar, and then, you know, make sure you get a little bit of sleep at the same time. So I'm so happy you guys joined me today. You're awesome. Have a fantastic week. I'm going to be doing these weekly. So if you guys have anything you want to talk about, feel free to message me or leave comments in the videos, and we will make it a fantastic week. Mwah! Talk to you soon.